What is going on, everyone? Man, it's been so long since we had an iOS version, an official one. It's been like over a month since we had iOS 12.1. We've had a beta since then, but I just can't believe Apple took this long to do it. Hopefully they start releasing updates, official ones, like sooner than later, because there's still a lot of bugs that need to be cleaned out. So I would really appreciate it. Apple, anybody from your company is listening, please focus down and start releasing more updates. But Apple finally released iOS 12.1.1 today, long awaited. I will say there were a lot of bug fixes, there were a lot of things that were added, but most of them were more situated for the newer iPhones, like the iPhone XR, the XS, the XS Max. So I'm not going to talk about those specific features because it doesn't really pertain to the iPhone 7, but just know that there were a lot of features that were added for the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max. So with this update specifically, it did come out to around 300 megabytes on almost all my devices, so I didn't really find one device being way more than the other. They were all 100% less than 400 megabytes, but just know I was coming from iOS 12.1, so if you're coming from 12.0.1 or iOS 12, it might be a little bit of difference. You might have more megabytes or something, but it's really not that big of a deal, honestly. Now, like I said, lots of bug fixes in the back end, but there were some additional features that were actually added, and two of them are within FaceTime. I don't think I have FaceTime enabled. Yeah, I don't have FaceTime enabled here, but pretty much what they did was they added a feature that actually allows us to change the front and back camera a lot easier now. So before you actually had to tap the screen, tap another button, and then click to flip the camera, whatever. But now you can actually just tap the screen and flip the camera, so you don't have to do that additional tap. So that's actually super cool. I showcased it on the iPhone 6 video, so if you want to watch that, you can check that out. But this is really cool, and that was a huge problem. I made a video about it like a month or 2 months ago, talking about that's probably one of the most annoying things within iOS 12. But they eventually fixed it, so thank you, Apple, for doing that. I know my video didn't do it by itself. There were probably a lot of people who complained about it, so really glad Apple did that. Another thing they did within iOS 12.1.1 and within FaceTime, they actually allow you to take live videos or live photos of your FaceTime. So before you could only do like screenshotting, and my home button doesn't here work, but before you could just screenshot, but now you can actually take live photos. So if you don't know what live photos are, it's like it takes like a 1 second and 1 second after of the photo, and it's just kind of like a mini video, but not really. I don't really like it that much. I think it's just a waste of space, but FaceTime does now offer it, so that's super cool. Finally, they did that. Another quick one, a little quick bug fix that they did, which pertains to the iPhone 7, is actually within voice memos. And before there were some issues with voice memos, it wasn't syncing properly up with the iCloud accounts, certain people's iCloud accounts, but now you can actually do that. If you guys didn't know, with iOS 12, you can actually sync up your voice memos to your iCloud account. I said that like 10 times. So that's super cool. They fixed that. And if you didn't know, you can actually access your voice memos on your MacBook or your iMac, whatever, if it's running macOS Mojave. So I could see how that could have affected a lot of people. So at least they went ahead and fixed that too. So Apple has really been on their game with fixing the bugs. It's just they're taking too long to push these updates out. So I know within like a day from now, I'm going to start seeing bugs with 12.1.1. Not huge ones, smaller ones, but I really hope they go ahead and fix those too. Now, I did run a benchmark, and on iOS 12.1, I had a multi-core score of 180,458, and I just reran it, and it actually went down quite a bit to 171,592. Now, I wasn't expecting it to go down this much. I was only expecting it to go down maybe like a couple hundred points, because on most of my devices, this update actually went down in terms of multi-core scores. It's really not that big of a deal, honestly. Like, you still have 171,592, so that's still a pretty big score. And like I said, they added additional features, they fixed a lot of bugs, so sometimes you do see your phone becoming a little bit slower, but just because the score is smaller doesn't mean you'll be able to notice how much slower it is, so it's really not the end of the world. I wouldn't even freak out about it. So ultimately, I think this update is important. I just wish they pushed it out sooner because they really didn't add crazy amounts of things. They fixed a lot of bugs. Like I said, a lot of the updates were focused more on the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max. So what I'll say is, if you're on iOS 12.1, go ahead and update. You'll probably find it to be better than iOS 12.1. If you're on iOS 12 or 12.0.1, also again, just go ahead and update. I will say the only reason I wouldn't recommend you to update is if you were waiting for a jailbreak for some reason, because the lower the version of iOS you have, the higher chances you have of jailbreaking eventually. iOS 12 at 12.1.1 and possibly 12.1 are your best chances of getting jailbroken very, very soon. And that's pretty much it. If you're waiting for a jailbreak, stay where you're at, but everyone else, go ahead and update. I'll say 12.1.1 is definitely a safe upgrade, and that is pretty much it. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm still giving away 2 iPhones. I'm giving one away December 14th, and I'm giving another one away December 28th. In order to enter this giveaway, just click the video link down in the description as the first link. I don't want to waste your time and talk about how to enter. It's completely free. Just watch that video. First link in the description and you guys can enter. Also, while you're down there, check out the other links too. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those things are linked down below. I would really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Dylan.